black people and to bridge the gaps between cultures and generations. To speak of Axali when he's gone is a precious and a singular honor. About 6 weeks ago, from the 28th of September to the 1st of October, the Lutheran Brass Band celebrated the 60th anniversary in Okahanya. We were about 300 trumpeters from Namibia, Botswana, Germany, and South Africa. The theme song, as we heard, we played that weekend, was composed by Axali. Axali could compose and he could write music. So the theme song was Let the Trumpet Sound, and it was a celebration of brass music. We did not know that Axali would participate, but we were quite surprised the Saturday morning when we were practicing. Jackie came and dropped Axali, and he conducted his compositions. It was such a privilege to play pieces in the presence of the maestro, were trumpeters like Moses Ikanga. The Sunday morning, and Kati told me when I visited the other day, the children were so occupied with their own prior commitments and could not take Axali to the service in Okahanya on Sunday. Axali refused to stay, and he drove himself to Okahanya for the service. And he was with us in the service, and Sunday morning we performed and he conducted these songs. One of the many last things we knew we simply had to do. For the first time this week I listened to the oratorium. It is just a pity that we don't have time to listen to that piece of music, because if you only listen to the national anthem, you wouldn't see and appreciate the full repertoire of his genius. But when we have an opportunity, maybe we need to listen to that oratorium. Do yourself a favor and listen to that when you have got time. Playing once in a brass band that was directed by Axali, he told me one thing. He said, to play the wrong note is insignificant. To play without passion, to play without listening to the rest of the band members to get the harmony is inexcusable. I said, Axali, you need to remember, some of us are business people, we are in finance and economics, we are not real trumpeters. But he was so passionate, and he loved what he was doing. Axali's life was a symphony in itself, a composition of brilliance and passion. From a very young age, he demonstrated an extraordinary gift for music. His compositions have become the embodiment of artistic perfection and emotional depth. His music speaks to the soul, transcending time and place. He had a unique ability to express the full range of human emotions in his music, from joy and love to melancholy and sorrow. Axali was humble, very patient, at times a contrarian in some sense, a man of few spoken words with a unique leadership style. He had no interest in conforming to a pre-packaged version of what an artist should be, and he probably wouldn't want, like most artists would do, a pre-packaged memorial program, because it stifles creativity and it stifles the free flow of ideas. Axali had a disdain for self-pity, as we could see how he moved around despite his challenges with his me. I was recently seated at the same table of Axali and Anakati at State House, one of the dinners. The man was in a black tuxedo with bow tie. He enjoyed himself. The man was mobile. Despite the challenges and hardships that life presented, he never lost his energy or his optimism or his zest for life. Asked before the 2014 Namas Award was handed to him, in one of the interviews to talk about himself, he responded by expressing his discomfort for boasting. He said, it's one of the most difficult things to talk about oneself. Nonetheless, he went on stating, I contributed to music in Namibia, primarily with brass instruments. I trained youngsters and adults to play various instruments. I composed many songs, including the national anthem. I composed anthems for schools, for churches. I wrote liturgies. His humility was on full display for everyone to see. To make his mark in this world, Axali realized that he needed to commit to something bigger than himself. He committed to serve his country with his talent. But achieving something is always a journey. In the past week, many people spoke about the depth of his torments, the depth of his courage. I can see his legacy lives on not only through his music, but through the countless musicians he inspired and the generations of listeners who continue to be moved by his artistry. Axali, we will sing your songs, we will trumpet your songs, we will continue to dance to your tunes. This brings to mind something that someone called Ernest Hemingway wrote. Hemingway wrote the following: today is only one day in all the days that will ever be. But what will happen in all the other days that ever come can depend on what you do today. This quote reflects the focus on the impact of present actions on the future, encapsulating a sense of responsibility and agency in shaping one's destiny. On his life, Axali learned in ways that few of us ever will the meaning of those words, how each moment, how each day, each choice is a test, and Axali passed that test again and again. His service and due to his family, to his community, to his church, to his country, did not ring hollow. These were not just words, it was truth he left. For this contribution, Axali was honored with an official funeral. What might we risk everything for? We are still alive, and we should ask that question to ourselves. Axali realized that with great talent comes great responsibility. He understood what makes his country great, and through his music and cultural activities, he focused on what binds us together and not on what divides us. He calls us to be bigger and better in serving one another, in serving our communities and our country. As we say goodbye to Axali in this world, we can take solace in the fact that his music will never leave us. It will continue to inspire, it will continue to heal and uplift the human spirit for generations to come. In that sense, he's not truly gone. The spirit lives on in the notes and melodies that grace our lives. Today is only one day in all the days that will ever be. But what will happen in all the days that ever come will depend on what you do today. What better way to honor Axali's life of service and duty as best we can and contribute with our talents to the prosperity of our country. That's perhaps how we honor him the best. What do you do for your family, for your church, for your country? Some things are bigger than fame, bigger than titles, bigger than power. There are things worth risking everything for, principles that are eternal, truths that are abiding. Mag God Axali die ewige rus vind. Mag hy sy genade betoon aan Makati en die kinders, die kleinkinders in die familie. En hulle hoop gee op die toekoms, wat op hierdie oomblik lyk asof dit sonder hoop is. Dankie dat julle geluister het.